Hi, welcome to Send to Print. What if you could turn a sound, a place, or an image into something actually useful or just really fun to have? I found some amazing online tools that can turn simple inputs into ready to print models, plus a few that can completely transform models you already have. No subscriptions, and only one requires a sign up. I tested them, printed the results, and I'll show you the ones actually worth trying. All right, let's dive right in. The first one is called TanskyLab. If there's a sound you want to preserve, you have to try it. Whether it's a baby's burp, your wedding vows, or even your cat's meow, you can turn it into something you can actually see. I'll use my channel intro as an example. Hi, welcome to Send to Print. Upload the audio file here, and it turns the sound into a 3D keepsake. There are plenty of settings below for the text, waveform style, raised or inlaid design, size, keyring hole, colors, and more. I've checked, and it's completely free to download the model, but you do need to sign in first. Everything looks good. Send to print. This is the inlaid version, and this one is raised. I think the raised version looks much better. I also made a little yellow one for my sister. I skipped the keychain hole and added a magnet to the back so she can stick it on the fridge. If you'd rather preserve a place than a sound, you should try TerraPrinter. Enter any address here, your home, the place of your first date, or somewhere from a trip. Choose a base shape you like and select the area. Under Features, choose what you want to print. For example, I want the buildings and blue water, but not details like roads, trails, or railways. The toolbar on the left gives you even more options and parameters to tweak. Then you can download the model. No sign-in and no payment required. Here's the model I just downloaded. It's already sliced and ready to print, but I don't have any blue filament right now, so I'll have to wait. If you've printed a map like this before, let me know in the comments how it turned out and if there's anything I should watch out for. There's another map printing site worth trying, PrintMap 3D. First, search for the place you want to preserve. I actually prefer selecting the area on the flat map instead of the 3D view. The 3D map looks cooler, but I find the 2D map much more precise. One advantage over TerraPrinter is that you can preview the model online first. When you select an area manually, buildings near the edge can be sliced into tall, thin pieces that won't print well. An online preview makes it much easier to spot problems and adjust the selection. Both websites give you several 3D printing-friendly download formats, and neither of them requires a sign-up or subscription. To save time, I'm going to print the entire model in white. I like how it looks. It brings me right back to that snowy winter. I printed this model in white PLA, then colored the rooftops with acrylic markers. I also touched up the snowy areas with a white acrylic marker, although it may be hard to see on camera. So, if the souvenir shops are full of the same mass-produced stuff anyway, why not make one at home instead? Beyond preserving sounds and places, here's a more practical tool called QR to STL. It's way more fun than printing a QR code on paper, and it can handle water and dirt. It also has some more practical uses. For example, Wi-Fi details, so your guests can just scan it and connect. It can also generate an email QR code. Or you can create a contact V-card for your keychain. That would be really handy at an expo or event. To avoid exposing my home Wi-Fi password, I'll use my channel link as the example. There are a few more settings down here. You can add a keyring or a magnet that lets you stick it to the fridge, which is especially handy for a Wi-Fi QR code. Okay, generate the 3D model. Preview the model first, then download. You'll need one quick slicer setup. Just add a filament change at the right layer. If you're not sure how, the page includes instructions for both Cura and Prusa Slicer. I'm doing it in Bamboo Studio here. Just find the layer where the raised QR code begins, then add a filament change from white to black, and it's ready to print. Here it is. The details look good, so it should scan properly. Let me try it. Nice, the link works perfectly. The next website is called Litho-Lamp. It turns an image into a 3D printable lithophane lampshade. What I like about this site is that it's built specifically for 3D printed lampshades, even down to standard light socket sizes. It also comes with plenty of preset lampshade shapes. You can customize the dimensions of any of these preset shapes by changing the position of the mounting ring. You can use it as either a pendant light or a table lamp. There are plenty of other settings here, but I won't go through all of them. Personally, I'm not a big fan of turning portraits into lithophane lamps. They always look a little weird to me. I prefer artwork with strong contrast between light and dark and a more decorative look, like the famous Great Wave off Kanagawa. I know I've said this a lot, but I also know it's exactly what you want to hear. No sign-in, no subscription, and you can download the model directly. I printed 2 versions, one in transparent PETG and one in regular white PLA. The lampshade fits a standard E26 or E27 socket. For this quick demo, I'm using a T-light. Here's how they look in the dark. I think the regular PLA looks much better than the transparent one. The transparent material lets through much more light. You can even see the light source inside. But for a lithophane, you want the image to read clearly, and the transparent PETG just lets too much light through. White PLA works really well here. Let me rotate it so you can see the full picture. I would stick with white since other colors transmit even less light. If you're looking for more artwork to try, MC Escher is a great fit, and he's one of my favorite artists. If you like math or have an engineering background, I don't know if Van Gogh, Monet, or Dali are your thing, but I'm pretty sure you'll love Escher. His work has this precise mathematical beauty to it, with geometry everywhere, and the crazy part is he had no formal training in math. I especially like his Metamorphosis series. The pieces are really long, which makes them perfect for cropping a section out and wrapping it around a lamp like a band. Let me demonstrate with this image. Wrapped around a lamp, it works really well because your eye just keeps following the pattern. You can see the seaside buildings gradually transform into a pattern of cubes, then into irregular puzzle pieces, then human silhouettes, and finally a person wearing a conical hat. I think it would be even more interesting if we could make the lampshade rotate. So far, these sites have all created something for us from scratch. Now, let's look at tools for customizing models you already have, starting with Pattern Monster and its library of over 400 patterns. No sign-in, no payment, and it's MIT licensed. There's a huge mix of patterns here. Find one you like, open it up, and tweak the parameters. Then download the format you need. This one looks pretty good too. Now, let's actually put one of these patterns on a model. BumpMesh is an open source project by CNC Kitchen that can add all kinds of textures with one click. And this isn't just a visual texture map, it's real geometry you can 3D print. It includes lots of familiar presets: hexagons, knit, wood, and even leather. Just let me upload a model first. Click any texture to preview the result. It's almost ridiculously easy. This knit texture looks fantastic. As a Fusion user, I know what a pain this would be to model on an irregular shape like this, and here, it's literally one click. We can also upload a custom pattern, and there are plenty of settings for more precise control. I noticed a few places where the pattern doesn't flow quite right, but that's understandable since the model is irregularly shaped. For a cleaner result, I'd split the balloon dog into individual balloons, texture them separately, and then assemble them again. Let me try another projection mode. There are still some overlaps and a few areas that don't look quite right. I think we should go back to the first projection mode. Let's try another texture I found on Pattern Monster. I like this one better. It feels more organic, and we don't get those obvious alignment issues this time. This texture completely changes the look of the model. It feels more like an organic sculpture now. Again, there's no sign-in or subscription required. You can export the model directly as an STL or 3MF file. Drag it into your slicer. Don't forget to enable supports. Looks good enough to print? I printed this one in Silk PLA. Compared with the original, the Silk PLA really catches the light, and the texture makes it feel much more like a sculpture. Here's another pattern tool I really like. It's called
Guilloché Atelier.
Now, this one looks completely different. It generates the intricate geometric patterns you see on traditional watch dials, banknotes, and jewelry. There are tons of presets here, and honestly, it's hard to pick one. This kind of pattern works especially well as a shallow emboss on a flat surface. Put one on the lid of a simple box, and it instantly feels more premium. The parameter panel on the left lets you customize the pattern. It's a lot of fun, but I'll leave the rest for you to explore. No account or payment here either. You can download the pattern directly as an SVG or DXF file. This is the first box I printed. Adding a pattern like this instantly makes a simple box feel more finished. I've already made a detailed tutorial on how to model this basic snap-fit hinged box. Click the card in the top right if you're interested. I also printed a second version. I used silver silk PLA for the center pattern, and it gives it a really nice sheen. The one on the right has much more depth and catches the light way better. I wish I had some gold silk PLA. A black and gold version would look incredible. I think this would work really well as a watch box or a small jewelry box. Next up is a Voronoi pattern generator called Voronoi Editor. Previously, we generated Voronoi patterns with an add-in inside Fusion, but the pattern has hard, straight edges on the left and right, so when you wrap it around a cylinder with emboss, you get a visible seam. I discussed this seam problem with another designer, Gabor. His Maker World profile has these beautiful Voronoi bowls, and even though he's using a very similar Fusion workflow, his models look seamless. He recommended this website called Voronoi Editor. You can see that the edge still looks pretty abrupt by default. But if you change cell shape to quadratic, any seam becomes much less noticeable. You can also drag a cell around if you don't like where it is. There are a few more settings here, but I'll leave those for you to play with. Once again, there's no sign up or payment. You can download the result directly. While we're on Voronoi, here's one more tool, Voronator. It converts a solid model directly into a mesh with this kind of Voronoi structure. This one's really simple. Upload your file. Under Advanced Options, just pick the output format you want. These default settings usually work fine here. Then click Start. That's all there is to it. Choose either the high resolution or simplified version. Download it and open the file in your slicer. By the way, it's totally free and you don't need to sign up. This is basically an open lattice now, and a few sections are just floating in midair. So don't forget to enable supports. To keep the slicer from filling the inside with supports, I'll tweak a couple of settings. Change style to tree slim and check these two options below. Everything looks good. Check out this Voronoi balloon dog. The Voronoi version has a much more open, organic look than the original. Okay, that's all for today. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. Have you tried any of these tools? What did you think of them? And if you know any other fun or useful 3D printing tools, drop them in the comments. I'd love to check them out. I also really appreciate the people who build tools like these and share their work with everyone. They make it so much easier for the rest of us to create useful and interesting things. So if you can, consider supporting their work. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.